Welcome back. Episode 30. Episode 30. Big episode here. Wow, 30 episodes in, guys.
30, yeah.
Congrats. How feeling about that?
That actually is a lot, man. I was thinking about it when I was making the outline. I was like, damn, we're already at 30. That's crazy. I feel like we're getting better.
Real Fun Podcast, 30th episode. You got Gabe back missing last week. Who knows what he was doing? I don't even want to know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Kinda want to be surprised
Then he went
for what he was doing.
after the shutout that happened. the massacre.
Oh, that's what you were doing, huh? You were hiding out from that shutout that happened for your fins.
They almost made the Dolphins extinct, like endangered species. All right.
Listen, man. Let's get into it because I don't want to talk about the Dolphins.
All right. We actually don't talk about it later, but first things first, we're going to go over the most ridiculous power rankings I've probably seen in a while. It is the ESPN Week 3 power rankings. I'm going to run it through for the audio listeners. Number one.
No, the bottom up. Go the bottom up.
All right. Number 10, the Las Vegas Raiders. Number 9, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 8, the Cleveland Browns. Number 7, Arizona Cardinals. Number 6, the Seattle Seahawks. Number 5, the Buffalo Bills. Number 4, the San Francisco 49ers. Number 3, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, Los Angeles Rams. Number 1, the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers.
Tampa.
All right. So obviously you read the list. Julian, these are the NFL power rankings, obviously for week 3. Everybody can look them up. Hopefully we can post them up. Julian, what is your problem with this ranking? Like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, it's only week 2. Like, I mean, is it egregious? Is this an egregious list?
I think it's a completely egregious on some levels. Yeah. So the first one that stands out to me, I'm gonna start from the bottom down. The fact that the Ravens are number 9 and the Vegas Raiders are 10, when the Raiders beat Baltimore week 1. And they didn't just beat Baltimore, they beat the Steelers, who then beat the Bills. The fact, you can tell they're using a lot of like judgment based off last year. But like, to me, when you're doing week by week power rankings, you have to go by what we've seen so far leading up to this week. Last year was last year. Like, you have to go based off what you see. And the fact that Las Vegas Raiders is at number 10, that Baltimore's above the Raiders is insane to me.
Right.
And then,
real quick to cut it, right? Like you said, week by week. Who did the Ravens just beat? Who? Tell me.
Barely.
Beat Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs. Big
and
win.
then the Raiders.
Huge win. Upset win. And I think that's rightfully deserved. Yes, head-to-head, Vegas beat Baltimore, like you stated. But, hey, they bounced back. This is about power rankings, right? Who are you beating? Are you beating the elite teams or are you beating the whack teams?
Jojo, real quick, unplug your mic, plug it back in. Gabe, you go. Think about that part. You have a lot of static
while
right
Jojo's
now.
fixing his mic, a little static. All right, so here's the thing. I'm not against the ranking. Like, it's only week 2. Obviously you bring up stat line. You want it. Julie wants it more college style. You know, who beat who, their rank before who beat who, whatever. But I feel like it's only week 2. Like, really, I'm not very like serious about like the week 2 ranking or week 3. Usually it takes, especially now we're into a 17-week season. Usually I want to see at the half point, like, where are the teams halfway as far as when it comes to injuries, their strength of schedule. And they usually do that preseason. They bring out the strength of schedule. So I see you have some points, but the Ravens did have a big win. Raiders are known, especially I know last year the Raiders were known for like scoring, especially like late in the season, scoring a lot of points. Like they'll be like on the fucking red zone all the time. Late in the season, scoring a lot of points, and everybody asks every year, are the Raiders serious? So they're going to do it this time, and they never go anywhere in the playoffs. But they just beat Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's got to have some clout for something. And they probably, you know what? Here's another thing. They probably make this list for guys like you, for you to get pissed off, you get mad, you go on your Twitter, you go on your Instagram and say, well, look at this bullshit. They don't know shit what they're talking about.
I'm just tired of the
knows?
Baltimore dick riding. Like, let's give Vegas credit, bro. They were balling. Derek Carr's been playing unreal, which we'll talk about later. But anyways, the next part that I find egregious on this list is the fact that the Seattle Seahawks are number 6 after blowing like a 17, 16 point lead to the Tennessee Titans and losing, like, and then only beating a beat up Colts team. And the fact that they're 6 after even last year not really playing that well, like, to me that is ridiculous. Like, the fact that they're number 6, like, to me that's probably the most egregious on this list, is that the Seattle Seahawks is 6 on this list.
The Seahawks, I haven't seen a lot of Seahawks play. I know these are not the Seahawks of old. Like, the Seahawks Legion of Doom has long since passed. So I haven't seen any play. I have heard very great things about Arizona. So the Cardinals, I've mentioned before on the podcast, like, Kyler Murray, like, to me, he's like fucking Russell Westbrook 2.0. Like, he's the next coming, and he's having a really good season. I was very high on him last year, even though they didn't go anywhere last year. So maybe I gotta watch some more Seahawks game to evaluate that, but I can understand.
I have no problem with Arizona. I like that ranking for Arizona. I do. I like that one a lot, but I think the Seahawks, it's a little ridiculous. Buffalo, I don't know. I mean, they're solid. They're definitely, that's a tough one too, because they did lose to the Steelers and then they beat up on a really injured Dolphins team. So obviously you're factoring a lot of the weapons and what they have. So I guess I could see number 5, even though maybe the Cardinals to me looked a little bit more dominant than Buffalo did on both sides of the ball. Kansas City, obviously they're going to rank them high regardless, just of what they've been doing year in and year out. But let's be real, they lost. They blew a whole lead to Baltimore. They blew a massive lead to Baltimore, and then they almost lost to the Browns and had to catch up. So that is a little weird to me. But Rams, Tampa, I'm okay with that. Rams look absolutely dominant. They're a scary team. Especially with Matt Stafford on there, they're a very scary team. And then obviously the defending champs have not been dethroned yet, so you got to keep them at number 1. But when I
don't mind Kansas, because again, like, to be at the top, you got to beat the top. You know what I mean? And that's definitely what's giving Baltimore that number 9 for beating them. It's not even about riding the team over and over and over. Oh, they're the best. And they've proven it. Like, Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't lose regular season games like that. And, well, we saw what happened last week. It's a very close game. They could have easily won that. But, tremendous play from Lamar Jackson there. And look at the strength of their schedule, where they, have playing next. Like, I don't see anybody else really beating them.
Who do you think's missing from this list?
Denver Broncos. My Denver Broncos, 2-0. 2-0. We need to be in the top 10. And if we're not in the power rankings next week for week 3, there's going to be a problem. I have to email someone at ESPN.
Who does Denver play this week?
They're Jets.
Oh, yeah.
That's an easy win. That's an easy win. Put up that W.
So you guys beat up on the Giants, the Jags, and the Jets. What a tough schedule. You got to get your layup games, I guess. You got to get your layup games. I'm gonna say
we don't make the schedule.
Yeah, make this. I'm gonna go with the Green Bay Packers. I think Green Bay should be in here. I don't know who you take out. Honestly, I think I take out Seattle. Like, I do not think they should be in the top 10 as of right now after what I've seen the first 2 weeks. Like,
but I mean, didn't they get whooped on by freaking Jameis Winston, man? I mean, that week one.
Yeah, that was weird. I get it, but that seems like because it was just a weird game. That was a weird game. I know it was bad, but obviously they came back and they won Monday night against the Lions, which isn't a very good team. But they look to be back to where they were at. I think last week against New Orleans, just a very fluky game. Obviously, New Orleans didn't look that good against the Panthers. So that was a little bit of a fluky game. But yeah, I don't know. I think they should be in there. I think it's hard to take somebody out because then again, Seattle did beat Indianapolis pretty good. So it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
They're definitely 11 or 12. They're definitely right
that's
outside
one thing
of it.
about the power rankings. We never know what they actually take into factor. Are they doing Vegas odds? Are they doing points per game? Strength of schedule. Their opponents. Right now it's only week 2. We had a lot of there was a week 1 was a pretty good week of games. I didn't see a lot of week 2 games. Me personally, because I was moving shit. But it's like I can't hate on it. We'll see. Like I expect a lot of these guys, especially the top 4, to be. These guys are kind of projected to be, or top 5. We're really with the Bills. The Bills, 49ers, Chiefs, Rams, and Bucks. These are like predicted early in the season. Like they should do well. They should go, at least into the first round of the playoffs. We'll see how far they get there. But I'm like,
you have almost the entire they have the entire NFC West in the top 6, which me and Jojo were talking about that last week. Like how strong that division is. It's insane. That division is ridiculously strong. And the 49ers, to me, like they're back. I was a little iffy when you have teams like that get so injury prone one season and then they come back and they become good, but they're not like how they were pre-injury. But it seems like they're completely back to where they were and putting up more points than probably what they were in 2019. So, yeah. Let's
get into it, man. Let's get into the week. What do you want to bring up?
So here is one big question right here, kind of going back to the Raiders. Is Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders a for real team? Can they challenge the Kansas City Chiefs in the division as well as challenge the Chargers and make the playoffs? And I'm already starting to see things of like, if Derek Carr, which I agree, if he continues to stay on this path at how he's playing, he is in the MVP race. Do you think they are for real, or do you think they'll crash and burn?
Here's my thoughts, okay? Because we actually play the Raiders. Miami Dolphins play the Raiders this upcoming Sunday. Every year they kind of ask this question. For like the past 2 or 3 years, they always ask the question: is Derek for real? Are the Raiders for real? Is Derek Carr for real? And I feel like this is just kind of reminiscent of like that conversation we had with Ryan Tannehill. Like, is he a franchise quarterback? Will he do it this year? How far will they go? So I'm more of a wait and see guy. I was very high a couple years ago on the Raiders. Maybe not last year. Like I'd really follow them too well, but they got a lot of good guys. They got a lot of good skilled guys. I know they're tight end. They got Henfro. They got Ruggs who can score deep, really fast.
Yeah. Got Waller. Got him on my fantasy team.
Offensively, like they should be explosive. They have all the pieces. Like they have the pieces to be successful. So I'm more of like let's wait and see. Let's see all the tough teams. I'm trying to look at their schedule to see what kind of tough teams. They have a pretty easy team. They have a tough schedule later on. They play Washington week 13, Kansas City week 14, week 10. Let's see how they do against week 4. They're gonna play the Rams. That's a fucking really good. I'm sorry, excuse me. They're gonna play the Chargers. Excuse me. So let's see how they do against good teams. This will be a great matchup this upcoming Sunday. They play the Miami Dolphins. Let me see how to do there. I'm actually more, I'm more high on the Dolphins defense and the offense this year. So let's see how they do, against tough teams. Those were big wins. They had one in overtime against Baltimore and Pittsburgh, but and the Steelers especially. I would consider Steelers probably a better defense than Baltimore, but those are really 2 really good teams. So if they continue to, stack up games against good teams, then I'll say they're for real, but not in week 3. Not week 2, week 3.
I will say, like, I'm kind of on the same boat as you, but I'm leaning more towards I think they're for real. I think every year, the past few years, they've been like kind of in the hunt towards the end of the season, but they never have enough wins or can never really close it at the end of the season. And they're just outside of the hunt or just outside of the race. But I think they finally get it figured out. I think this season they finally do it. Derek Carr seems to be like a new man right now. He's playing out of his mind so far. Like you said, they have insane weapons. Henry Ruggs is starting to become an insane talent who can really take the top off of defense. Especially, I was watching the highlights. He had like a 60-yard bomb from Derek Carr and just burned 2 of the Pittsburgh secondary players. And obviously you have Darren Waller. They have another tight end that I was watching. He's actually starting to come into his own carrier. I believe his name is. And then, yeah, obviously they have the run game with Kenyon Drake. Josh Jacobs is banged up right now, but once he comes back, you have a nice 1-2 punch. The offensive line looks really solid. They're keeping him upright. The defense does its job. Like, they're to me, they're a serious threat against Kansas City. And even the previous times they've played Kansas City, they don't get blown out by Kansas City. They put up a tough fight against them. And I think John Gruden might have something figured out. I think they're going to be really good. Like, I have the stats here. Week 1, Derek Carr threw 34 out of 56 for 435 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. And then in week 2 against the Steelers, he did 28 for 37, 295 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, if he can keep his rhythm going, and like you said, he has a ton of weapons, and as long as their defense can hold up, which it seems to be they can, they could be – I think they're serious. I think they're for real. I think I would not want to go against them.
Jojo, do you have
so
any?
real quick. Yeah, so what, they play the Dolphins this coming week, right?
This coming week.
Yeah.
They're at home.
Right, so
Raiders are at home.
Storyline. Now, look, right? Dolphins, got zipped out at home. Let's say Dolphins make a comeback game, end up beating the Raiders. Will that change your mind on how you view the Raiders next week if they lose against the Dolphins, Julian?
I don't think they lose against the Dolphins. One, because you have Jacoby Brissett. Tua's out for this week and has a possibility to come back the week after next. But I don't think. Okay, say if Dolphins do win, I still feel good about them because at the end of the day, Dolphins does have a solid defense, even though they lost 35-0. You saw flashes of it. That game wasn't as. It was a bad game. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as bad as what you would think. The defense still did convert a lot of turnovers and stuff, so I wouldn't be upset at them losing and think that it's over. Obviously, it's one game. I would still be sold out on them. It also depends how they perform, and I think they're too hot right now. I think they go into Miami, or do they play at Miami? I don't know if they play at Miami.
They're at home. Raiders
they're
are
at Vegas.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah, I think they win that game, and even if they do lose, I'm not. If as long as they perform well, I'm still not pulling out of my opinion of them. I think for me to change my mind, they would have to lose a few games consecutively and lose it bad. Because even if you lose close games like that, which are going to happen in the NFL, I'll probably forgive them a little bit. But if they keep on performing like they're doing, I think it's only up from there.
And like I said, they beat 2 really good teams. The Raiders beat 2 really good teams, and we'll see when they play Kansas City. Like I said, they play Kansas City week 10, week 14. So
that's going to be a shootout game. That's going to be a shootout game.
It'll be fun. So hopefully, they stay healthy until we meet them. But they do play the Dolphins.
And speaking of the Dolphins, we're going to discuss about what happened with Gabe's Dolphins and what happened that game, Gabe, and how can they bounce back. Tua has fractured rib. He has a possible return to come week 4, but I'm not sure about that. That's probably a very optimistic outlook of it. I'm thinking maybe he misses 2 weeks, but what did you see, and how do you think they can bounce back, Gabe? As a Dolphins
pretty much
fan.
I started watching the first half. I didn't see the injury. I actually turned on the game. I had like 3 computers going on. I had 2 TVs. I'm in the middle of moving, so I didn't get to see the beginning of the game. But I did turn it on to see when Brissett was in. I was like, "What the hell is that?" Because Brissett definitely has a different body build.
Who the fuck is that?
My observations from the game. Brissett came in and he made a couple. He was good throwing short passes. I saw he was like beaming. He was throwing cannons like 5-7 yards hard up the middle. I'm like, yo, this guy. I was like, this is like I can see it was coming off the screen like, yo, he's throwing this shit hard. But at other times, it seemed like he didn't have enough time. There was a lot of problems with the line. I think the line was porous. Didn't give him a lot of chances to throw it deep. And also some of the throws were just kind of like they were like duck farts. They were just like we overthrow it, throw it out of bounds. They weren't really able to get it going, and I feel like the defense was trying to put up a fight that game, and it's just like they were on the field way too much. Like you just get fucking tired if you're
gassed.
If you're on the field all the time. Like you just, I mean, you know what I mean. As much as you want to condition, I mean, you can't be out there forever. You know what I mean, at some point, your offense has got to help you out and be productive. They got to keep the ball, keep possession of the ball. So, my overall thoughts was The offensive line was terrible. I can't tell if Jacoby Brissett is good or not if the offensive line doesn't give him a chance to even like do his fucking job. So I'm not a bigger believer. Hopefully Tua can come back. Fracture ribs are hard. Once you fracture your bone, it takes like 6 to 8 weeks. But this is a rib, so this man is breathing this. You know what I mean? Like he has to go to bed, lay in his bed, probably on his back or whatever.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's very thin because they're saying in like 2 weeks he's coming back, so it must not be super bad. But
yeah.
Even if so, like still, it's gonna be bother him. It's gonna ache him. It might change, the way he throws. So, I would rather him just take as much time as you need. If you're out for a month, whatever. That's why we have backups.
Yeah,
That's why there's
like I don't want the team rushing him back in hopes to being a hero. Honestly, man, it's your future quarterback. Just let him heal. Yeah. It's you had a bad loss. You need him. Just later on.
Especially with the offensive line playing so poorly, it's like, even if he was healthy, like the offensive line was still bad. Like, we can't even evaluate, even if the offensive, let's say he didn't get hurt, how can we evaluate if Tua is good or not, or if he's the guy or not, if the fucking offensive line is, letting guys get in the backfield? I mean, so
yeah. One thing I saw from that,
O-line.
Yeah, one thing I saw from that was like one thing. Brissett actually didn't look terrible. He looked pretty good. It seemed like they would freeze up right when they would get into like near field goal range. Right when they get into the enemy's territory, it seemed like that's when they started to like kind of like freeze up and like couldn't convert. But you see, like I said, I saw Jacoby Brissett make some nice throws. He had a nice arm strength. There was moments where I noticed he didn't step in the pocket, and that ended up causing sacks. When in moments he probably should have stepped up. I saw inconsistencies, but I did see he played pretty decent at times, especially in the first half. He looked pretty good. But they need, the offensive line still, I think they allowed 6 sacks, which is just too much. It seemed like they never really could get the running game going. Down, granted, you're down, but I did see some things where it's like I felt like the running backs are missing holes at times, and they're kind of forced to throw. And there were some moments he would get into a certain rhythm, and then they went for that 4th and 2 and didn't convert right there. So that kind of like that would have put them within one possession, and then I think that from there just really went downhill. And then, like you said, in the second half of the game, you could just tell that the defense looked gassed because they were doing a good job. They were doing a good job against Josh Allen in the first half. Josh Allen did not look too great in that first half, but then in the second half, they came on and they ended up just racking up the points. And that's what I was saying, like 35-0. It wasn't the worst 35-0 I've seen. Like there was just a lot of bad execution, it seemed like. And yeah, the offensive line, it looked shaky, but I will say at times it looked like there was moments where it's probably on the QB's fault. And the same thing goes for like the running game. There was moments where it felt like the running backs just weren't hitting those holes like they were supposed to. But I mean, the Bills have their number, man. Like every time they play the Bills, they just get blown out. And the Bills it's a thing, man. Even if Tua was in that game, I don't know if they win that game. I think the Bills still blow them out, honestly. I don't know if necessarily Tua would have really made a difference. It's not like Tua's the guy who you trust to go in there and drop 30 on a team. And
I mean, I disagree. I don't say that, with Tua being in, it would definitely make a difference. I mean, they might not win the game, but you can't say their future quarterback,
I think they score a couple touchdowns. I think they score a couple touchdowns, but I think they still get blown out.
You know what I mean? The confidence standpoint, for the entire team having a starting quarterback in there, it changes the whole demeanor of the game. You see a guy go out with an injury, and they're just thinking like, damn, like, yeah, this game's probably over. But like, yo, you probably get some points on the board. You know what I mean? Or you never know if Tua shows out. You know what I mean? It could be his breakout season.
Well, that's
you won't know unless he's playing. Yeah.
I was going to say, because there's like periods like when Brissett first came in, they were on a roll. They were moving the ball. They were being efficient with it. And it almost seemed like if Tua wasn't there, and then it just kind of fell apart. And like, I just don't know if Tua really would have made a difference. Honestly, I think the Bills' defensive line had the Dolphins' number when it came to the offensive line. And I don't think that outcome would have changed. Maybe they score an extra touchdown or two, but I think the Bills is just too much for them. I see Dolphins winning very grindy games like they did against the Patriots, like games like low scoring, just kind of like keeping it close. Because like I said, the Dolphins offense. Tua is just not going to be that guy who's putting up 30. Like you just can't trust him to put up 30 for you. You can't. Like he can at times, but when you're going against the Bills and stuff, like you expect to, if you're going to beat the Bills and the Chiefs, or they're going to put up 28 or more, and you got to be able to do that.
Mind you, this is the first time that he's actually getting the keys to he's getting keys to a Ferrari, because last year, he would come in and out, whatever. Let's say he would mess up slow, then we'll bring in Fitzpatrick, and then we'll start Fitzpatrick. Sometimes he'll come later in the game. So like, this is the first season, like, okay, we're gonna give you we drafted Waddle. We're gonna give you all the weapons that you need, all the time you need. You're gonna start. You're gonna be a starter, and it just kind of sucks that like now this early he gets injured again. So it's like, okay, we can't evaluate him now because he's injured now. But even if we could evaluate him, like his O-line is not even giving him a chance to, like, I can't even tell if he's good or bad because the O-line is so bad. Like, you know what I mean? If he has, all the pieces there set, it's like, yo, all you have to do is be a playmaker. You know what I mean? That's the kind of evaluation we want. And right now we can't see that. So I still think, I'm still high on Tua. I mean, hopefully, comes fully recovered. Like I said, the O-line will get better.
I don't think rush him.
Game against the Raiders. Yeah, it's a tough game on the road. You got to go to Las Vegas. Who knows? Maybe they might get the Las Vegas flu. These Miami guys. So we'll see, man. I'm still high on Tua. And shout out to the Bills, man. I mean, the Bills are a good team. They were. Remember, the Bills were a Heineke away from beating the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Remember, because I think was it Patrick Mahomes went out that game? I think with a concussion or something. What was it? Injury. They put in Heineke, and Heineke won it for him. So
no,
the Bills are the real deal, man.
And that was against the Browns. That was a different game.
Oh, sorry.
The Bills got beat pretty bad against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
The AFC Championship. So these are AFC. No, they went to the finals. So, man, shout out to the Bills. The Bills are a really good team, and just when the Dolphins thought, oh, fucking Tom Brady's gone, here comes the fucking Buffalo Bills. They're like the real deal now. So.
I will say too, real quick, finding notes. I'll just say that Jacoby Brissett, he's
1-1. Yeah. Let's see.
Overall, I think don't rush Tua. I think Brissett's he's not a bad backup. He can rattle you off a couple wins. He's not terrible, so I don't think rush him. Like, as long as you got a good game plan set up, you can win with Brissett. He's not like dog shit. Like he won some games over in Indianapolis, so. Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Jacoby Brissett, he's not dog shit.
All right, on to the next one. Are we seeing a new generation of Sam Darnold? Is Sam Darnold finally starting to come to his potential, finally starting to come into fruition for the Carolina Panthers? I will say that he looks good. He looks pretty damn good. Did you guys see any Sam Darnold action?
We knew he was good. It's nice to finally see him play in a real team. You know why we weren't able to see him perform. We all know why. So what's his record now? Are they 2-0?
They're 2-0 right now.
Yeah, 2-0.
They beat up on the Saints and they beat up on the Jets. And now they're going to play tonight against Houston. So they're on track to go 3-0, I think.
Oh, I will form my opinion after tonight's game.
Really?
Well, here's the thing about Thursday.
Team. Does that even count as a win? Because you beat up on a terrible organization, terrible franchise in the Jets. Now, last week, okay, I give him that, right? His numbers look good. His, completion percentage looks good. He has good yards. I feel
his
like tonight, man. His
completion percentage looks really good.
Yeah, he's being efficient. I can tell you that. Yeah, Gabe.
Yeah, so he's got about 70 on so far 2 games, 70%, 68.5, 70% completion rate. Last game 78.1 QBR. Sam Darnold. Here's the thing, man. This is what I feel like. Again, to bring it back to my Dolphins, Tannehill. It's like, is he the franchise? Is he gonna be the quarterback? Is he the real deal? And guess what? You're like, whatever. We tried him out. He was here for 7-8 years and do shit. Like JoJo said, like obviously he was drafted high. We knew he was good coming out of college. But it's like organizationally, what did they do to set him up for success? They had Robbie Anderson for a little bit of the Jets. and then he actually went to the Panthers now with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, now he's with Sammy.
So it's like once Tannehill left, he goes to the Titans. And like, yo, now the Titans are really good. So it's like he just probably needed that change. He needed that change. And it's tough now because they got Robert Saleh. Even though the Jets aren't doing good, people really like Robert Saleh. It's just like you just need that organizational change. You need a new, fresh start to be like, yo, I'm gonna prove them wrong. Everybody said I was terrible. I was a laser draft pick, and look, now he goes somewhere else and he finds success. So.
And I think the coaching staff is way better compared to New York. I mean, they had Adam Gase, which probably shouldn't even been a coach at that time. And then you go down to Rule and I believe his name is Joe Brady, offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. And they have a really good system, and they got good weapons, man. They got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, like you mentioned. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey's back. Offensive line looks solid. So, and the defense is pretty good. I just picked them up on my fantasy team. The defense, they're a solid defense. They could be really good. It's a perfect situation for him. I think last year, that team should have been better than what they actually were. Obviously, they had Teddy Bridgewater, and who's to say Teddy Bridgewater probably wouldn't be playing better this season if he had the weapons that Sam Darnold did, and because McCaffrey was out pretty much the whole season, which adds a whole different like element to their game. And yeah, he just looks super efficient. His arm strength looks incredible. His presence in the pocket and the way he steps up is just really good. I went back and watched those games and his highlights, and he looks super efficient. He looks comfortable. He doesn't look like he's seeing ghosts like he was in New York. And he just looks confident. Like he looks like he does not look the same at all. Like it's insane to see the transformation. Like to me, like Tannehill, I still see the essence of Tannehill that you see in Miami. Like I'm not super sold on Tannehill, honestly. Like he's solid. Now he's turned out to be solid, but also that team has incredible weapons. So it's like, how much is that really Tannehill? But Sam Darnold, he's gonna be pretty. I think Panthers gonna be better than people think. What was that, Joe?
How you utilize your weapons as well. You know what I mean? Just because they're there doesn't mean you know how to utilize them. And if he's utilizing them, he's obviously doing something right.
Well, if he just handed off the ball to Derek Henry 30, 40 times a game.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. They're a run first team. But I just want to bring up Tannehill just because, whatever. I'm talking about just Dolphins in general. Tannehill, Tua, these guys that are drafted high, they're first round picks. They're the first quarterback, second quarterback drafted. Like there's that expectation of like, okay, you got to be great out the gate. It's like maybe he's just above average. You know what I mean? Maybe he just needed to feel comfortable and you lay down you give him a chance to be successful, and then he can blossom and bloom, and maybe he's the greatest quarterback we ever know, or maybe he's just pretty decent. Like I said, ththese numbers aren't out the water. He's thrown 305 yards, 2 touchdowns. These are not out the water, but like you said, he's very efficient, throwing 70% completion rate, 78% QBR. He's doing pretty good. He's doing better than he did with the Jets. I'll tell you that. He looks better, you know what I mean?
I've always felt that like 60% is system, 40% is the player. And I really think, because there's moments in New York where you see it, like you see those little flashes. And I think everybody kind of gave him, because I think if he was anywhere else other than New York, he probably wouldn't have got another chance as a starter, like fully committed to him. But because of that, he got a chance in Carolina. And like I said, he just looks super efficient. Like, I don't think he's really blowing anybody out of the water, but like, I mean, the name of the game is just being efficient, getting your first downs and scoring. And that's what he's doing. And he looks damn good at it. And then Carolina's going to be a lot better than people think coming into the season. I really think they are. I mean, obviously they haven't had a crazy test because I don't think New Orleans is as great as what we saw against them against Green Bay. But we'll see when they go against Tampa and they go against New Orleans again. See if New Orleans can bounce back and whoever else they face throughout the week. Because I think they could be a pretty solid team. I think they can be. I think they can make the hunt for the playoffs. I don't know if they necessarily make it, but I think they'll be in the hunt. But yeah, going on to another young quarterback, finally announced as the starter is Chicago Bears QB Justin Fields. Finally announced as the starter. Andy Dalton is going to be sitting on the bench. I also believe he got injured. Yeah, I think he's injured. That is why he's starting.
Yeah, he's out.
And I knew that was going to happen. I don't think they were going to pull out Andy on off base of performance if he kept on playing like he did the against Los Angeles. And I had a feeling he was going to get hurt. And yeah, Justin Fields is starting, and now Chicago Bear fans finally get a chance to see what they got, who they traded up 9 spots in the draft for to go get, because he unreasonably fell down to 11th, which I don't think he ever should have. But yeah, I think, who does the Bears play this week? The Bears play
who do they play the schedule? They play
the Browns. They play at Cleveland.
So
you got a tough defense, and you're away. So it's going to be a real test for him. But if anybody can handle it as a rookie, I think Justin Fields can. He's gone against played in really tough environments and played against really tough opponents and had to endure a lot. And I think he's going to be good. I don't expect anything crazy out of the world, but I don't think he's going to play terrible. I don't think he's going to be Zach Wilson 4 interceptions terrible, but I think he's going to be solid. I think they're going to utilize his legs. I don't think they're going to do a whole lot of design runs, but I think he's going to scramble a lot, and I think he's going to look really strong in that pocket. That was one of the things I saw out of Ohio State when he was playing. He just looks really strong out of the pocket, and then he's got an arm. He's really good at the deep ball. So I would like to see them really open it up for him, have it throw him deep to Allen Robinson, and really get the run game going with Montgomery.
I wasn't very high. I'm not very high on the Chicago Bears. I think last time I was kind of rooting for them. They had a playoff run and they lost. I think it was a couple years ago when they first traded Khalil Mack when he came.
They made it last year. They lost against the oh my God, who they was it New Orleans?
I don't know.
I think it was New Orleans.
I don't know, because I had a fucking Tariq Cohen.
It was New Orleans.
I had Tariq Cohen a couple times, and that guy, not good. So as far as offensively, I don't like their run game. Montgomery is fine. It looks healthy, running good. They have Damian Williams behind.
He's looked a little slow this year so far. I have him on my fantasy team. He's been a little slow. He's been average.
Yeah. So this is a tough game. So you're gonna go on the road. You're gonna go to the Browns. Browns are a good team, and you're going on the road, and you get your first official start. So it's gonna be a tough matchup. I would like to see what he does. Like I said, I haven't seen Justin Fields' whole career, but from what I hear, people hold him in high regards. So he's a deep thrower, has a big arm. So we'll see what they do. Hopefully they connect very well with the wide receivers. They still have Allen Robinson. And they have Marquise Goodwin. We'll see what they does. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not high on the Bears anyway. So hopefully he can do well. But I don't expect this week for the Bears to do well against the Browns this week.
Bears got a good defense. The Bears have a good defense, and they always find a way to win, I feel like. And that was the same thing with last year. Like, I don't know if you guys remember last year. They went 5-0 at one point. Like, they always find a way to win. Their defense always keeps them in the game, and that's a quarterback's and offense's best friend, is the defense stepping up and doing well. And yeah, as long as like I said, hopefully they don't set him up to just have him throw it deep every single time, and hopefully the offensive line can hold their own against Clowney and Myles Garrett, because those two seem to be eating right now. So hopefully they can just keep it down. He can stay confident and just make his reads. Nobody's asking the world from him. Just make your reads, do your check downs when you need to, and just keep the ball moving and stay efficient. Use your legs if you need to. And yeah, I like I said, I was saying this last week with JoJo's, like, it's going to add a certain spark to the team. I think he adds a certain ability that just Andy Dalton couldn't bring you. I thought Andy Dalton's average. He's been probably going to be in this league for a few more years just as a backup. I think his starting year's done.
That's why I was questioning it. I was talking to Julian last week about it. I was like, yo, we've seen what happened with the Cowboys. He was the backup, like, a whole season. Not to take anything away from Andy Dalton, but give the guy you moved up draft picks for a chance, and finally he's getting it.
Yeah, because it's not like how it used to be, where it's like you want a guy sitting, because the NFL game's so different from college. It's like the NFL game's getting closer and closer to college, and that's why you're seeing so many guys just starting to be better, versus like the ratio of guys being good coming out of the college and being bad has like gone up significantly. So it's like, why not just throw him in there, man? Just like, why waste a year when you could have used that year figuring out who he is and let him learn? Because at the end of the day, I heard one player say, he's like, at the end of the day, there's nothing like playing a game. Like, you'll never understand the speed or how everything is unless you're actually in there playing it. because there's no other way you can replicate it instead of just playing the game. So give them the experience. Why waste it? You know.
Thanks.
So good luck, Justin Fields.
All right, and then we are going to end it off here with the week 3 picks and predictions. We're going to run through every single game. We're going to give our predictions of who we think will win and cover their spread or not cover their spread. So, Gabe, we're going to keep track of this so we can keep week by week who we think. So we're going to get a little trash talk going, so who gets the best record and who's going to make the most money for the fans out there. So we're going to start off.
I'm not liable for your money. Just putting that out there. Do what you want with your money.
We're going to start off with the first game, which is actually today, so people might not see this, but we're going to talk about it anyways. We got Carolina Panthers at Houston, and the spread is -7.5. I'm going to start off with me first. I'm going to go, I think Panthers win, but they do not cover. So I'm going Houston +7.5.
Wow. All right. I am not.
Houston wins.
I take Houston.
Yeah.
I think Panthers. I think Panthers win, but they don't cover 7.5. I think Houston gets within there, and so I'll bet on Houston +7.5.
Yeah, he's taking the. Okay. You're probably a win. They're -102. As far as this game, I'm not a fan of Houston. Houston, I think they're terrible. They're pretty bad. I don't know if they're as bad as the Jets. I mean, they did beat the Jaguars, so they do have that. I got the Carolina Panthers. They're going to outscore this Texans team. It's not.
You think they're going to cover?
Even though Thursday games, I do not like Thursday games, but they're going to cover. They're going to win by 10 points. How about that? I'll take Carolina. 10.
Jojo, who you got?
I actually agree with that. I think Carolina by 10.
All right. I guess I'm the lone soul over here. All right.
Your faith in Houston.
We got Arizona at Jacksonville.
Oh boy.
So Arizona is -7.5, and you know what? I will take that.
Oh, you're taking Arizona, huh?
I'll take Arizona. And I'll go against my own team because if money's on the line, that's more important. So I'll actually take Arizona. I don't like betting on my own team unless it's to win. I will never bet against my team, so I will not put money on this game. But for recommendations, I would probably put Arizona -7.5.
You know what they say? It's the old win-win. Like you bet against your team, but if your team wins, it's just like, okay, my team won. But if my team loses, I'm like, okay, I still won the best.
Yeah, I will never bet against my team.
I'm gonna take Arizona, man. Arizona +7. That's easy, man. Kyler Murray 2.0.
Arizona's winning by 10.
They're probably
all right. So we're all again Arizona -7.5. All right. Now we got Indianapolis at Tennessee, and it's Tennessee -5. And you know what? I will take Tennessee -5. I think they cover their line at home. I think the Colts look shaky. Carson Wentz, I don't know, man, about Carson. So yeah,
I'm gonna go to the same. I'm gonna go Tennessee. Tennessee is not one of my favorite teams in the NFL, but I like to see Tennessee do well. So I got them running the ball all day, hold on to the ball. Tennessee for me.
I have Tennessee winning by at least a touchdown.
All right, so we all got Tennessee -5. All right, next game. We got Baltimore at Detroit. Baltimore is -7.5, and I will take Baltimore -7.5. I think they cover the line. Detroit looks like a shit show. So yeah.
Yeah, this is easy. This is Ravens easy all day. It's not even.
I think they cover that.
I didn't want to
eat Patrick week Baltimore. That performance from Lamar Jackson, I'm betting against him.
Even at Detroit, I think they still take it home. All right, so next one, we're going Washington at Buffalo. Buffalo is -7, and I'm going Washington +7. I think I think Buffalo does not cover.
You're gonna score more. You're gonna score like 9 or 10 points. Do you think? You're gonna score
no,
3 field goals?
I think Buffalo doesn't cover.
Oh, they don't cover. Okay, so you're going Washington.
I think Bills win, but I don't think they cover, so I'll bet Washington +7. I think Washington keep close games, man. They keep close games.
But you got to think. I mean, the Buffalo Bills, they're at home, right? I got that right.
You're at Buffalo, but that Washington defense is good, man. I don't know. I feel like they always find a way to keep it close. They always find a way to keep it close.
I mean, I think there's a slight advantage to the home team, and I'm always going for the home team.
It's even. It's both -10. Both.
Yeah.
So it's split 50-50.
Yeah. 7 points is always a tough because you always want to get that half because 7 points even is like they got to go over. So they have scored 9 or 10 or above that. So I'm gonna go with the Bills anyways. I think they're really good, but this should be like game of the week stuff. Like
that's dead even. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, JoJo.
What was that?
I agree with Gabe.
Buffalo -7. All right, I'm the lone soul on that one too. All right,
there we go.
This is gonna be an interesting
Bold
one.
prediction.
New Orleans at New England. New England -3. I am taking New England with the -3. I hate that it's -3 and not like 2.5, but I'll take minus because I think that's pretty spot on, man. Because I think New England does win by 3, but I think they can get more than 3. So I'm going New England -3.
Yeah, this game is close, but I always give home team advantage because home team always has a slight advantage.
New England's hard to play at.
Yeah.
I'm going New Orleans
+3.
-3.
+3.
+3.
Yeah. All right.
New Orleans.
So JoJo separates from Gabe finally. He gets off the tee. Okay. All right. Next game. All right. We got Los Angeles Chargers at Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is -6.5. And one thing, if you guys didn't know, last year, Kansas City almost never covers their line. So I'm going Los Angeles +6.5. Kansas City always finds a way to like turn it up at like the last 30 seconds of a game and like win it.
Yeah.
This should also be a fun game. No. You're going to go with the Chargers too, the JoJo?
No, because they're not going to cover their line. I'm going Chiefs going to win, but
6. I'll take that Chargers 6.5. Yeah.
All right. I'll probably do the same thing. I'm going to go with the Chargers as well. I'm just typing it in. So I'll probably go to the Chargers as well. But this should be also a fun game to watch. So I'll probably keep this on my 2 screen. My computer. I got one.
It's a 1 o'clock game right there. Yeah. It's at Kansas City too. So
yeah,
that's another thing. But yeah, they never cover their line. All right. So we got Chicago at Cleveland. Like we mentioned, Cleveland is -7. And I will think Cleveland wins, but they don't cover. So I'll take Chicago +7.5. I mean, +7. I think Chicago keeps close games. Browns seem to only blow out teams when they're really bad. So
I'm going with the Browns.
Browns -7.
Even though Landry, I believe Landry's, or is it Landry's out or?
I'm not sure who's out. I haven't been.
I think Landry's out. OBJ's back in, but I'm still going to the Browns.
I'll go ahead and go with the Browns on this one.
-7. All right.
At home?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, man. You're giving the Bears a lot of credit, Julian.
What was that?
You're giving the Bears a lot of credit.
They got a good defense, man. They keep games close. They got a really solid defense. This is a dead split game too. It's -10 no matter which way you go. I mean, -110 no matter. So Vegas has it 50-50. So.
But the thing with the Browns is they score a lot of points in the first half of the, but they do pretty well in the first quarter or the first half, and then the second half is like usually as a blowout. They're always trying to catch up whenever they let go of leads and shit. But I still got the Browns winning at home. Like I'm not, like I said, I'm not high on the Bears. So
yeah, I just don't think Browns cover. All right. Now we got this one. This is actually a little closer than I think. We got Bengals at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is -3. I'm taking Pittsburgh -3.
Taking Pitt, I'll go the same.
And that is the favorite because that's -112. So yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh at home to get more than 3 points. JoJo, what'd you say?
I agree.
All right, she's got Pitt. All right, Atlanta at New York. New York -3. I'll take New York -3. New York's good. I think Danny Dimes is showing out.
Game. This is a boo-boo game. The Falcons suck. We're talking about terrible teams. The Falcons are also terrible, even though very high on Kyle. Was it Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts. Joe's got Pitts on his fantasy team.
Yeah. So hopefully you do well, but the Falcons are boo-boo. I'll take the Giants at home.
Danny Dimes looks good, man.
You know what? Giants need a win. I think they're gonna get a win. It's the right team right now. Hopefully, give them some hope there, continuing the season. So, go Giants.
And they actually have Atlanta as the favorite with minus 118 to get that +3. So you can make some not bad money with the Giants. All right, Dolphins at Raiders. They got the Raiders -4.5, and I will take the Raiders at -4.5.
That's an easy one. Why isn't the line spread differently? You have a backup quarterback. They're on the road. Like, why isn't this line bigger? 4.5 points? Like, that's easy money.
And they have it leaning towards the Dolphins at minus. No, my bad. Never mind. No, yeah, they have it leaning towards the Dolphins at -118. So to cover. So that's a little surprising to me. Yeah, I would take the Raiders -4.5 with a -104.
That spread should be different. Like, it should be a little bit bigger. So I'm going Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah, we better make some money this week. All right, this is. Oh, I don't know how I feel about New York Jets at Denver Broncos. They have the Broncos -10.5.
10.5.
That's high. Ooh, that is high. Oh man. I go Jets +10.5. Denver wins, but I don't think they cover. I go Jets 10.5. I don't. That's too high. That high spread scare me.
Why?
That's that's a high, dude. That's really high, and it's not like Denver's really putting up crazy points.
They're gonna shut out. You think they're gonna shut out the Jets like that by 2 touchdowns? Whatever.
Against the Jets, though? You don't think against the Jets?
Not 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it might be closer than what these points are. I'm gonna go with the Jets because I don't think Denver's.
That's a big spread, man. That's 10.5. That's a lot, and Denver's not really putting up points like that. Like like they went 23-30. They went. What was the score against the Jags? 23-13. Like they didn't even get that against the Jags. So I don't know if they get that against the Jets and at home. Well, never mind. No, they're at Broncos.
They're on the road against the Jags. Did their thing, and they got the Jets, bro. It's the Jets.
You gonna take them to cover? That's a high fucking cover.
10 points. So they got score 11 or more.
I'm taking them.
All right,
bro, Joe, come on. Taking it.
All right.
Not
Gabe, who'd you have?
He has
the Jets. Come on, man.
Gabe, you're taking the Broncos -10.5?
Yeah.
I'm taking Jets +10.5.
What's the next game?
Wait, what was your answer? You don't know?
You said the Broncos.
No, I'm talking about you, Gabe.
Oh, me? The Jets. I'm taking the Jets. I don't think.
All right, so me and you are on the same page. Okay.
I don't think the Broncos are going to cover.
All right. We got Tampa Bay Buccaneers at LA. Tampa's 1.5. -1.5.
Wow,
so they got it like 50-50.
Another game of the week.
That's a good game. 4:00 Sunday.
Third game you gotta watch.
So
that's the third game to watch. The afternoon.
I'm taking LA +1.5. I'll take LA +1.5. And I think they can win it. I'll take LA on the money line too. They got them +108. So I'll take them on the money line as well. I think they win the game.
This is the matchup to see. Like I said, usually the home teams have an advantage, so LA should have the advantage. But it's Tampa. They got weapons, dog. They got Bright. They got Goodwin. Or they got fucking
Brown's
Mike
hurt.
Evans. They got AJ Brown.
Well, Brown's hurt.
Man, this is a tough game.
Antonio.
This is a tough game to pick. You know what? I'm going Tampa, baby. Tampa gonna win. Tom Brady. He goes into place and he just wins.
You take the minus. Do you take the -1.5?
Yeah, they're gonna win by.
So you take the money line and for them to cover. I think. Yeah, I take LA on the.
Tampa Bay wins by.
Yeah, I'll take LA on the money line and +1.5.
I'm going Tampa wins by a field goal.
So you got Tampa -1.5.
Next game. That should be a good game. That's another good game.
That is a very good game. All right. Seattle at Minnesota. This is a tough one. They got Seattle -1.5 at Minnesota. I'm gonna go Seattle. I think Seattle covers.
I got faith in Seattle. I know people giving up hope. I haven't yet. We got faith in your boy Russell. It's gonna go in and show out. I haven't seen anything from Minnesota.
Minnesota is improved, I will say. They're definitely not. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year, but I don't think they would beat Seattle.
Like I said, I was going to say the same thing. Vikings are improved. They're a better team. Seahawks are not the team of the old. You know what? Fuck it. I just switched my mind. I'm doing the Vikings. Fuck it.
Vikings.
I'm going the Vikings. I'm going Vikings at home. Dalvin Cook, FSU.
You taking the money line too? You take them to win it?
130?
No, 108.
I'll take them to win it all.
All right. +1.5 and the money line. All right. Then we got, this is a good one. Green Bay at San Francisco, 2019 NFC Championship game repeat. I am taking, because I like this bet, I'll take Green Bay.
Wow.
+3 and the money line to win it +140.
Wow.
So where did this faith come back in with Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden? Because you were just talking highly of the Niners.
It's a close game. I'm surprised it's not closer. I'm surprised they have it -3. I'm surprised it's not like 1.5. Partly, I like the odds. I like the odds. I like it's +140 for Green Bay to win and +3. I would take my chances on that. So yeah, fuck it. I'm going Green Bay +3 and the money line +140.
I was gonna go Green Bay regardless of your decision, so I'm going ahead and Green Bay. And
That's
Rodgers,
a tough game. That's Sunday night. That's Sunday night football. That's a big money game right there.
I'm going to separate from both of y'all. I'm going to go 49ers because I seen Green Bay put up a duck fart. I think they duck fart again.
You take just the spread or you take the money line?
I'll take the home team. I'll take the -3.
And the win. Okay. Yeah. Well, obviously you take the win. Yeah. All right. Final game, Monday Night Football. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys. They got the Cowboys -3.5. And you know what? I'll take the Cowboys at -3.5 because I don't even think they win by a touchdown. I think they win by like 4 points. I think they just get over 3.5.
Listen,
at Dallas.
We're talking about being now that I'm newly moved to Texas, we get the Texas.
Gabe's new favorite team.
No, it's not my new favorite team. This is the Boo Boo Bowl, okay? This is the Boo Boo Bowl Monday night. Eagles, Cowboys, I don't give a fuck about any of these teams. I don't care. I do have the Cowboys winning just because of the home team, home favorite. I always give the advantage to the home team. But I honestly don't give a goddamn fuck.
But there's money on the line, bro. You don't care. You put $20.
I have Zeke Elliott on my team, and he is garbage. I'm gonna trade him away as fast as I can. If I can get rid of Zeke Elliott,
I ain't taking no trade.
Please give me a trade. He is not fast.
You know, I had him last year, right? And I was highly disappointed. That's why I didn't pick him up again. I'm like, yo, you're gonna have a long season with this guy.
But I got the Cowboys. Cowboys is mine.
-3.5. All right, I got Cowboys -3.5. Final pick.
Jojo.
It's always funny. Everyone gets hyped, right? Like you see some momentum with the Cowboys. I feel like this is the game that they're gonna get shit on by an unexpected. Everyone's hopes are just gonna die out once again. I'm going Eagles to win this game.
Don't get me wrong. I hope the Eagles, because there's nothing that brings me more joy than seeing the Cowboys lose. But if I had to put money on it, I'd probably take that Cowboys 3.5. But Cowboy fans are the worst. They always think they're going to win the Super Bowl. They're always like, yo, how about them Cowboys? We're going to take it this year. Every single year, they always say that shit. Always.
They ain't do shit since 1995, 1996, okay? Get out of here. There's children born that never seen the Cowboys win or have a successful season. Boo Boo Bowl, caca, mierda.
All right. Jojo, close it out for us.
before we close it out. See, Julian thought I wouldn't bring it up, but what happened last week?
You thought
what happened last week with the Denver Broncos, my Denver Broncos, against Jacksonville native over here, Jaguars. Let's talk about that game real quick, and then we could close it out. What you got, Julian? Let's get a little recap on how many tears you shed last weekend.
We just got outcoached, man. Like, to me, bro, like, it's just outcoached. Like, the offensive coordinator, our offensive coordinator is absolute garbage. Like, he's fucking terrible. Like, no wonder Russell Wilson wanted him out. Like, he sucks. And then he went to Denver, didn't do any. Detroit, I mean, like, he's terrible play. They had Trevor Lawrence throwing. I was telling JoJo because, like, when I went to the game, the dude had an average of 20 yards in the air per throw. Like, for a rookie quarterback in his second game ever, his average throw distance is 20 yards. That is way too much. Why is that his average? Like, and I was telling him because it was like, this shit's insane. Like, why is, like, I felt like every single play they had him throwing fucking deep balls. Every single fucking play. They got away from our running back, James Robinson, who's a 1,000-yard rusher last year, who's going to be one of the best running backs in the league. Probably already is if you actually feed him the rock. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? It's like, and then we had our kicker miss 2 field goals, which would have played the game completely different because now we would be 20-23. And we probably would have played that game at the end very different. So it was just miscommunication. We could have won that game, and it's not a talent issue. It's a fucking like an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator issue.
Aside from the downsides of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Broncos played pretty well. Your boy Teddy Bridgewater had 2 touchdowns, and by the way, Jacksonville scored on the opening drive of that game, started the momentum there. Didn't matter to us. Yeah, man, he looked efficient, cool, calm, collected. He was the general. He was running that game, and we're 2-0. Got the Jets next week, about to go up 3-0, and I think it's a good start for the Broncos. Also, June, let me know what hat size you use so I can mail this to your house. So
I will say Teddy Bridgewater, he looks probably the best he's ever looked in the NFL. I will say, like, he looks pretty solid. Like, he actually looks good. I think our coverage, our secondary was getting fucking burnt against Cortland Sutton, and like Cortland Sutton was killing us. I think Cortland Sutton put up like 150 something yards. This dude is insane. So, and then our safeties and our corners were just getting burnt the whole fucking game. The defensive line looked pretty good. After rewatching that game, I realized the defensive line actually played better than I thought. When I was there, I thought it was terrible, but I actually realized I ended up getting like 3 sacks or something on the day. But
so
yeah.
Yo, Julian, here's my question, man. Is your coach going to the USC or what? Is he going back to college? Why do they keep talking about?
No, that's
keep coming up. Oh, I deny. There's some jobs. There's some college job. I'm not going to that college job.
I genuinely, from what, mind you, I watch every single press conference. I don't think he's I think he's genuinely done with college. I think he's tired of recruiting. I think because you got to remember, recruiting, that's a lot of effort, traveling around and stuff like that. And he's getting older. Like, I genuinely don't think he wants to go back to college. I think if anything, he goes back to TV. If anything, I think he's actually done with college football. I think he's trying this out. And then if this doesn't work out, he's going to TV. I just don't see him going back to coaching again. I think this is his last hurrah when it comes to coaching. And to me, it's like the offensive play calling is just so bad. And I need him to step in and be like, yo, talk to the offensive coordinator. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, what the hell are you calling? Because they need to fix it. And then our receivers aren't getting the separation like they should. And it's like, bro, my biggest thing is just run the fucking ball, bro. Like, you have such a good running back. Run the ball. Because he's averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Why aren't we giving him the ball more? Like, he averages 4.5 yards a carry. It's wild. But no, he ain't going. I think it's more likely for him to quit than it is for him to go to another school. I do not see him going back to college. And I think he has no interest in USC either.
Julian's last remarks on his heartbreaking loss last week to my Denver Broncos. So we're gonna cover the Broncos real quick. Until next time, Julian, when we see that matchup. It was 6 years in the making for that matchup. And, of course, we came out on top. So, until the next time, guys, episode 30. Thank you guys for tuning in. A lot of football talk. We'll get into other topics next week as well. You could find us on Instagram, Real Fans Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, and Gabe, where else?
Apple Music.
Walmart.com, Best Buy. You can find us at Publix.
We got DVDs. We sell mixtapes. We got mixtapes that we sell outside the mall.
We appreciate y'all checking us out this week. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.